Are the current COVID-19 vaccines using tobacco to manufacture their vaccines? Is this leading to a vaccine for quitting smoking? Wait, isn't there already a vaccine for quitting smoking? 3 myths. Are these 3 myths true or false? What the science actually says about a quit smoking vaccine. What the science says about the COVID-19 vaccine and the role of tobacco in the development of that COVID-19 vaccine. And lastly, what does science say about a quitting smoking vaccine? As always, in the social media world, there is more fact than fiction. This is particularly true in regards to the COVID-19 vaccine discussion. We are going to deconstruct for you the fiction of the role of quitting smoking and the COVID-19 vaccine to get to the facts. If you want to know if a vaccine for smoking is possible and what role it played in the development of the current COVID-19 vaccines, you will want to stay till the end of the video. Because a vaccine was developed not only for COVID-19, but for quitting smoking as well. In fact, tobacco has played a role in the development of the COVID-19 vaccines that are out now. Here's the kicker. A vaccine was developed for quitting smoking. And guess what? It was tested and we know the results. That's why you will want to stay to the end. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to actually share with you its success rate and how it compares to other quit smoking methods. But more importantly, I am going to share with you the one secret that you will need to know if you actually want to quit smoking for the rest of your life. Make sure you stay to the end. Let's not waste any time. Let's just hop right in. There are 2 ideas circulating, well, really 3 ideas. 1, are the current COVID-19 vaccines using tobacco to manufacture their vaccine? That's 1. 2, is this leading to a vaccine for quitting smoking? Are the 2 connected? And then 3, wait a minute, wasn't there already a vaccine for quitting smoking? Let's look at all 3 of these. Number 1, are the current COVID-19 vaccines using tobacco to manufacture their vaccines for COVID-19? Maybe, well, sort of. Historically, tobacco plants have caused countless of illnesses and millions of deaths. Now, they may actually help control the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, tobacco has played a role in the development of the current COVID-19 vaccines. Vaccines work basically by fooling your immune system into thinking it's been exposed to a virus so that it can then fight that virus off. There are several ways to accomplish this. 1 is to introduce something that mimics the virus into your immune system, but it isn't infectious. So how does a tobacco plant do this? Well, the pharmaceutical companies, they plant tobacco seeds. And when they're around 25 days old, they infect the seed with COVID-19 bacteria, and the plant will make a protein with the instructions on how to deal with the COVID-19 infection. This protein can be injected into a human and give them immunity. The beauty is the vaccine has no virus in it, only the proteins. The other advantages are that it can be stored at a normal refrigeration temperature and it's easy to distribute. This isn't true of the current vaccines. Does this mean that the current vaccines are doing this? No, it doesn't. This is theory. And they tested it as part of learning how to make a vaccine for COVID-19. But it's actually just a really small part. None of the current 3 vaccines are actually using this method. That being said, did they use that research to develop their vaccines? And as time goes on in the future, these vaccines may in fact change and use those processes, but that's not what's happening now. Let's stop and just look back at this first question. Are the current vaccines using tobacco to manufacture their vaccines for COVID-19? No, not really. Well, kind of, sort of. It was part of their learning process, and that's really it. You can really consider number 1 debunked. It played a small role, and it may play a larger role in the future, but of the current 3 vaccines that have been approved in the United States for COVID-19, tobacco is not used in the development of any of these current vaccines, except in a roundabout way, learning from the research. The COVID-19 vaccine developers are aware of the research using tobacco, but it's not part of their actual process. So we can put number 1 as mostly myth, not fact. If you're worried about getting COVID-19 and you're a smoker, go and watch my YouTube video on what you can do to protect yourself. And exactly what you can do to protect yourself if you're a smoker. And if you're worried about COVID-19, I will put a link right up here that you can click on to watch that video. In fact, I actually have a whole section on my YouTube channel dedicated to this very subject. So please go and watch it. And while you're there, just make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Especially if you're interested in tips, tricks, and hacks on how to quit smoking for the rest of your life. That's all that channel is full of. That's not what we're here to talk about though. So let's now go on to number 2. Is research into COVID-19 vaccine leading to a vaccine for quitting smoking? This is an easy one. No, it's not. There is not a single researcher on the planet right now that we are aware of that is doing any research on a quit smoking vaccine as a direct result of their COVID-19 research. A simple Google search for this will display 0 results. You'll see it right here. I'll put it up on the page for you. Here are the Google results for the question, are the COVID-19 vaccine researchers working on a vaccine for quitting smoking? No, they're not. You can't even find it on the world's largest search engine. Why? Because they're not doing it. So this is clearly a myth. At least with the first one, there was kind of a half-truth to they are kind of using tobacco research. But are COVID-19 vaccines leading to a vaccine for quitting smoking? Completely false. Not true at all. If you see anything that says otherwise, run for the hills. Someone is just going to distract you from the real information that may actually help you to quit smoking. Last but not least, number 3. Let's look at number 3. Isn't there already a vaccine for quitting smoking? Actually, yes there is. Back in 2005, a pharmaceutical company started research on a vaccine for nicotine. Here's how it worked. Like all nicotine replacement therapies, it was based on the assumption that smoking was an addiction. Mistake number 1. And they thought if they could stop your brain from absorbing the nicotine with a vaccine, you would no longer be addicted. How does that work? Here's how. When you smoke, your brain releases a polypeptide that goes into your blood and it grabs the nicotine from your bloodstream that entered via your lungs when you smoked. It brings the nicotine back to your brain and stimulates the pleasure sensor in your brain, causing your brain to release dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain that makes you feel good. Hence, addiction. Every time you took a puff, you feel good. And then, apparently you get addicted to the feel good, and hence you're addicted. So this vaccine is supposed to inhibit your ability to get the nicotine to your brain. But it was designed to kind of work like a brick in a wall on your brain. And voila, no addiction. Because it hits the brick in the wall. You don't get the dopamine anymore. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, that's not how addiction actually works according to the science. That's how habit works. How did they get the science so wrong? Back in 2005, the first clue may be that they have been the only company in the history of pharmaceuticals to take this approach. That was 2005. Let's now fast forward to 2012, 2011. After 3 separate trials, the results were no better than placebo, 12% effective rate. Meaning the vaccine was about as effective as me giving you a sugar pill and telling you it's magic. The company stock plunged and they had to sell off all their assets and they got absorbed by a larger pharmaceutical company. And they had to start research on something else unrelated to quitting smoking. They all got reassigned. Here's their actual announcement. In July 2011, it was announced that the first of 2 planned phase 3 trials failed. Was this a waste of time? No, it wasn't, because it led us to the understanding that being stuck smoking is not really about addiction. In fact, the quit smoking methods that use addiction as the main method to get people to quit are no better than placebo, or basically a magic sugar pill. Remember, this is back in 2011. It's been a decade, and we now understand that what keeps you stuck is the habit, not the addiction. That does not mean nicotine is not addictive. According to science, it is. How addictive is the question? For perspective, from a scientific point of view, both sugar and salt are more than 100 times more addictive than nicotine. The actual addictiveness of nicotine is negligent. If you want to see a person who tries to quit smoking and keeps failing over and over and over again, here's how you'll know who these people are. They are the person that will argue with you till the cows come home that smoking is more addictive than crack cocaine. They will be stuck in a perpetual loop of quitting and failing, quitting and failing. Why? Because if you're treating smoking as an addiction, you are not treating the real issue. The real issue of what is actually keeping you stuck. What is the actual real issue? It's habit. And if you want to beat any habit, there's only one thing you'll need to know to beat that habit. There is only one secret that, when learned, will change your life forever. You know what that is? It's called psychological incongruency. I smoked a pack a day for decades. I tried everything to quit and failed over and over and over again, just like you. I watched 2 of my grandmothers die from smoking. I was able to quit for the rest of my life. I discovered this one secret to quitting smoking. And that secret is congruency. Here's how it works. Your conscious mind says, I don't want to smoke. 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 You wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to smoke. Your unconscious mind, where habit resides, says smoke feel good. That's where habit is. And it's connected to the dopamine. It doesn't addict you. It creates a powerful habit that says, when I drive, I smoke. When I get stressed, I smoke. When I drink, I smoke. When I talk on the phone, I smoke. That's habit, not addiction. That's not addiction. That's habit. Because you do this one thing, you smoke. So here you are. You want to quit smoking. Your conscious mind says, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. But your unconscious mind says, no, I'm driving and I smoke and it makes me feel good. And I need to feel good. When? Well, right now. Well, your unconscious mind is a supercomputer. And your conscious mind is not a supercomputer. Guess which one wins? The unconscious mind. It's programmed to smoke and make you feel good. So that's called incongruency. Your conscious mind is going this way, I don't want to smoke. And your unconscious mind is going that way. Smoke, feel good. You are incongruent. You are psychologically incongruent. The secret that I learned to quitting smoking for life is learning to get your unconscious mind to stop, change direction, align with your conscious desire to quit. You do that, you'll quit for the rest of your life. And until you do that, you'll keep failing. This one secret is how I have helped over 10,000 people quit smoking for the rest of their lives. It's how I quit smoking for the rest of my life. Quitting is easy when you understand this secret and how to do it. If you are ready to quit smoking for the rest of your life, then just click the link below. I put a link in the description and you can set up a free phone call consultation with me. I'm happy to explain exactly how my program works and exactly how you can join the movement that has helped tens of thousands of people quit for the rest of their life. If you're interested in tips, tricks, and hacks to quit smoking for the rest of your life, then subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit the notification button. It simply tells you when I post new content. That's it. So, I also want you to know that on that channel, I'm going to post 2 new videos per week. Join my Facebook page. You can hear the countless stories of people who have used this secret to quit smoking for the rest of their lives. Perhaps you just need a little bit of inspiration. Then join my Instagram channel as I post many inspirational ways to quit, and I give you tons of really quick tips, tricks, and hacks to quit smoking for good. I want to thank you for your time and attention. Whatever you do, make a decision and go forward. That's how you get unstuck. Being decisive has immense power. Blessings to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.